Hello. This is Joe. What's your name? Let's get going.
Just when I have all the answers, all the questions change. One day the world looks so normal, next it looks so strange.
Oh, yes it does. One day the world looks so normal, next it looks so strange. Why do I have to repeat that? I don't have to. I can do whatever the fuck I want. There. Earned my explicit tag right off the bat. Not that I need to use bad language, but what the fuck? Oh, hey, and I've already made kind of an indirect reference to my favorite podcaster, Mark Maron. That's another prerequisite. In order to earn my explicit tag, I must use some bad language at some point. And also, it's a compulsory thing that I must mention Mark Maron. Yeah, I must. I must improve my bust. That was a junior high or high school flashback. It's not what we said. It's what the girls said. They had the girls out there doing their exercises. Doing their exercise. I'm doing the motion right now, but you can't see it. It's this thing where you like hold your. How can I describe it? Here's an exercise how I can describe an exercise. So I'm holding my fists both around my chest with my elbows out, and then pulling my fists apart and elbows back, and then back to the front and back. That thing? Can you picture it? So then the girls would go, we must improve our bust. We must. The boys are counting on us. Yes, it was different times, the 70s. I don't really think that that's the kind of thing that girls would be proclaiming or chanting in a school condoned activity. Not a school condoned, a school led. As far as I know, it was the PE teacher that was leading them in that chant. How did I get going on that? I have no fucking clue. I think it doesn't matter. I was just vaguely in the mood to record here tonight. It is 10. What is it? 10:10. 1010 binary solo. 101010. Have you seen Flight of the Conchords ever? Did you watch them when they were on? Because it's kind of hard to watch them when they're not on. But actually, in this day and age, you can watch whatever you want, pretty much, all the time. Yeah, binary solo. 10101100101110. Look it up. I'm a nerd. Did you know that? So like I said, I was like vaguely in the mood to record tonight. I'm looking. I have this list in front of me from weeks ago. What's the date? Can I read it without my glasses? It was from before. Jesus, it was from before I went to Europe, to London and Paris, May 18th. I'm not even going to read what's on there because it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. This is one of those where I want to be in the spirit of the title of the podcast. I've got nothing to say, but it's okay. If I even chant that little melody like that, is that enough for me is that a copyright infringement? If you don't know, or even if you do, I'm a big Beatles fan. Very big, about 225-pound Beatles fan. Hello. See, that's a joke, folks. If you gotta point out that it's a joke, then it's not much of a joke. Did I ever mention that I was a comedian? I guess in some sense I still am. In some vague sense. I mean, is it one of those things like once a fill in the blank, always a fill in the blank? I don't even know what to compare it to. I played football too. Does that mean I'm still a football player? No. But I can play. I still have the ability. I mean, if you throw a ball at my face, I'll probably, at the very least, block it. Maybe even catch it. It's been a long time since I've played catch because I don't have any friends. I have friends in the internet sense. And there's some people that I actually get together with in real life. Or I like the phrase that my son taught me: meet space. I guess the ambiguity there, it could be MEAT or MEET, but I'm pretty sure it's MEAT, meet space, because IRL, because I had said to him that I don't really like using the term IRL anymore, in real life, for those of you who don't know. That IRL has been used for a lot of years to describe actually getting together with somebody physically as opposed to on the internet. But I thought, I don't like that term anymore, because that implies that when you have interactions with people on the internet, that's not real. But it is real. That's real life. We're living there. A lot of people, myself included, are spending a lot of time there. We interact with people. We exchange thoughts. So it's real. It's happening. It doesn't matter if you're exchanging thoughts when you're in meet space or if you're doing it over the internet. It doesn't matter. You're still exchanging thoughts with people. At least that's the way I think about it. So IRL is out the door for me. I like meet space. So over the weekend, it turned out to be a comedy weekend. Not for me performing wise, but audience wise. I had bought tickets months ago to see Louis C.K. On Sunday, which I did. I went with my daughter Autumn, and it was excellent. Had a little bonus of three friends of his who performed ahead of time. They each did 10 minutes, and then he did an hour and a half, and it did not seem like it to me anyway. It was very good, very, very good. If you're not familiar with Louis C.K., well, then apparently you're not familiar with stand-up comedy at all, because he's pretty much the king of comedy right now. I know they don't have titles like that, but anyway, he's up there. Let's just say he's pretty much set the bar. He's one of those guys that not only do audience members like him, but he's a comedian as well, because he just keeps churning out. Like he comes up with a new hour of material pretty much every year, give or take. And it's I mean, if you've never done stand up, that's a lot. I don't think people have. If you've never done stand up, I don't know. Maybe people who haven't done it could appreciate that an hour is a long time, but sometimes I get the impression that people think you can just yeah, sure, you can come up with a new hour just like that. Well, I don't know. I don't know if anybody's that naive. Of course, somebody is. Point being, generally, for those of us mere mortals who dabble in comedy now and then, even coming up with a new 20 or 30 seconds every couple of weeks would be a feat. You might be able to cobble together a few good minutes in the course of a month if you're going out a lot. And I'm talking about good minutes. But anyway, point being, Louis C.K., top of his game, top of the comedy world, and went to see him. So that was the planned thing. The unplanned thing was on Saturday. I went to see a friend perform, Lamont Ferguson, and I didn't know he was performing here locally. He lives just a little bit up north. I didn't know he was performing here locally in the North County of San Diego County until a friend of mine told me over the Facebooks. My other friend, Dean Lacrone, and these are people that I actually know in meet space, in addition to face space. So yeah, so when I first, and in fact, Dean didn't even invite me so much as he just sent me a message saying, "Hey, I'm going to see Lamont perform tonight at at my favorite hangout in Vista. So it's a place called Art Beats, an art gallery. And they also have live shows there. They have comedy, they have music, other various and sundry things. Dean was saying there's some other thing they have there, like Trivial Pursuit games or something. I don't know. They do live stuff there as well. So, point being, Dean just sent me a message saying, "Hey, I'm going to see Lamont perform tonight." And so I went, "Well, okay, yeah, I'm going to see Louis C.K. tomorrow night. So, yeah, have fun." We exchanged a couple of messages back and forth, but then I sat there, continued to play a video game. The video game of choice these days is Splatoon by Nintendo. Not a sponsor, because I don't have a sponsor, because who would sponsor this? Have I taken a breath? There, I took a breath. Sometimes I realize that I just talk without breathing very much. Modulate is good. Modulating is good, because if this is going to serve any purpose, not that it has to, it can just be what it is, can't it? Little philosophy for you. Sometimes things just are. There, I just are taking a sip of tea, even though I know it'll mess with my throat initially. Yes, very professional, coughing into the microphone. I have the ability to mute my voice and not have that happen, but then it does this. Watch. So let me do a cough where I mute my voice, and I'll tell you why I don't do it. Okay, so here I'm gonna mute my voice and cough. All right, so I'm assuming you probably heard what happened, because there's always a little bit of noise, a little bit of low buzz of noise, because I don't have a perfect audio setup here. So when I hit the button to mute my voice, it just goes dead silent, right? So I figured, well, maybe here's another way to cough that's not as obvious. Just coughed away from the microphone. The thing that you don't want to do, or maybe you do, but the thing that I don't want to do is cough right into the microphone like I did earlier. Because, getting back to purpose or not, this could just be I'm doing this for the sake of doing it. Very zen. Because I've been thinking a lot more about that lately. Although sometimes zen and mindfulness get overused or get a bad rap in our modern times, because there's people who profess that stuff or preach that stuff or teach it or really get into it. They end up being like all, I'm just, I really like living in the moment, and namaste. And, have you seen my crystals? The thing is, if you're into that kind of stuff, okay, fine. But I just get annoyed by that kind of affectation, that it starts to become, it's annoying. It's just, and I'm not going to deny it. Why should I deny it? As much as I like to think of myself as open-minded, there's still, if you're annoyed by something, you're annoyed by something, right? Let me take ownership for that. If I'm annoyed by something, I'm annoyed by something. So, Zen and mindfulness. Right now, this thing I'm doing could be just for the sake of doing it. It could be just like a wave crashing on the beach. Is there a purpose for the wave crashing on the beach? The wave crashes on the beach. The wave doesn't have intent. It's being pulled by forces, by the moon. Little physics for you, right? Birds and bees. Bees and flowers. Let's go with that one. Bees and flowers. The flowers, where there's flowers, there's bees, and where there's bees, there's flowers. They coexist, and they need each other. One does not exist without the other. But what is the purpose of the whole bee flower thing? Well, it could help to feed other animals, or it could just be there. It's just there. It just is. And so with this podcast, Does it have to have a purpose? No, it doesn't have to. This could just be it. But now let's branch off. Let's branch off and say, because what I started to do earlier when I was thinking about whether my breathing was goodly, and whether I was modulating. One purpose of this could be that it's good practice for those times when I do get a call from my agent and they want me to go out and do something with my voice. Then I won't just be going there cold, because I don't pursue things all that much. I only even go out on a handful of auditions a year, and I usually book a couple things every year. I'm not really pursuing it. So if I'm not really pursuing it, I'm not practicing, I'm not going to classes anymore, then this is practice. So there's that. So it's a little bit of both, but I really prefer to stick with the zen of it. But if it does lead me to becoming better for when I need to be better, then that's fine too. So how much longer do I do this? I don't know. I started to feel like I'm done. So maybe I am. I mentioned that it was a kind of a comedy weekend, and I kind of not so much reluctantly sat down here, but I just kind of felt like I kind of didn't. And I've been doing this thing over the last, I don't know when it started, but I've been not pushing myself. I've adopted this philosophy that I read, Hell Yeah or No. Derek Sivers wrote that, the founder of CD Baby. Google it. Hell yeah or no. Just haven't been in the mood to push myself. So when I say I reluctantly sat down here, I don't know if that's quite right. It's just I kind of felt like doing it, but I thought, well, I really shouldn't do this until I really, really feel like doing it. But, felt like doing it enough. And now I feel like this is enough. So I'm going to hit a button that says On a Sunny Day, because that's the name of this song, one of my songs. And I'm going to say, I'll talk to you the next time I feel like it. This has been Joe. This is Joe. This will probably be Joe next time you hear me talk. Later. La da da.